Alright, people, so this lunatic went on this killing spree in Virginia, I guess it was, where he tried to kill some Republican congressmen and their staff. So he was a Bernie supporter, he was a liberal, you know, far left, obviously, you know, a radical. And this really goes against the whole narrative that the loser media has been pushing. I mean, if you get your news from, you know, MSNBC or CNN or Vox or Salon.com, some of the most vile news organizations on this planet, you will, you know, get a constant stream of just how terrible Trump supporters and conservatives are, and how, you know, right-wing terrorism is the second coming of Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, and just how violent Trump supporters are. But it really is the other way around, because who are the people rioting in the streets? Who are the losers with no jobs rioting in the streets, you know, just breaking shit for no reason? Who are the lowlifes who are doing that shit? Oh, it's the far left. You know, the far left protesters, the Black Lives Matter who are chanting kill cops and shit like that. And it's a Bernie supporter who tried to kill Republicans. Thank God he didn't kill anybody. So this really goes against the whole left-wing establishment media's narrative of, oh, Trump supporters are so bad and so violent and so racist. Well, it looks like a Bernie supporter killed people. So what are you going to say now, huh? Salon.com. So yeah, I'm not going to fall into the trap of saying, oh, this is a Bernie supporter, so this means this means a lot of leftists or a lot of liberals are violent people. I'm not going to fall into that trap. But it just gets annoying when you see so many people that are out there saying, you know, again, how terrible Trump supporters are, how violent and racist. And, you know, like when one Trump supporter or one conservative does something, you know, bad, they just play it constantly on the news and try to demonize Trump supporters. But I'm above that. You know, I just because just because there's somebody on the far left who does something bad does not mean it's a representation of the entire left. I mean, there's definitely a far right and there's definitely a far left. But the media acts like the far left doesn't exist, and that the only problem is, you know, Trump supporters. So yeah, I mean, it was a terrible event. Like I said, the guy was a supporter of the socialist, of the borderline communist Bernie Sanders. You know, who wants a 15% minimum wage. I mean, some of the most just terrible policies I've seen in my life from this guy. I mean, so far, Bernie Sanders, I mean, 15% minimum wage. I mean, do you have any idea what that's going to do to a small business? But I mean, I guess that's besides the point. You know, I'm not blaming Bernie Sanders for this because he didn't incite violence or anything like that. But there's no doubt about it that there's people who are, you know, talking about violence without endorsing it, like Snoop Dogg shooting Trump in his music video. Again, another lowlife, Snoop Dogg. A lot of these fucking rappers out there, you know, just talking about killing cops and just talking about all these terrible subjects. You know, like I said, Snoop Dogg, a real moron out there who again, shoots Trump in his music video. It doesn't really get any negative press coverage about it. Hey, that's okay, you know. You get this play in New York, you know, killing Donald Trump. Again, a bunch of lowlifes, a bunch of idiots, a bunch of morons. I mean, what the fuck is this supposed to be? You know, if you're putting on a play of Julius Caesar, why isn't Julius Caesar in that play? Why is Donald Trump in that play? It's very dumb. It's very moronic to do that. I mean, you're really sending the wrong message there. I mean, so you got all these people in the media, you know, just talking about, and there's even people in the media too talking about violence. Like, I saw this Huffington Post reporter posted something on his Twitter account about, you know, violence. I mean, you got all these people in the media, and yeah, like so all these people in the media acting like Trump's, again, the second coming of Adolf Hitler. You got that loser, you know, who used to be on ESPN, Keith Olbermann, just constantly beating a you know, the story that's not even there of Russian collusion. He's in bed with, I mean, he's in bed with Russia. You know, he's having sex with Vladimir. I mean, just all these fucking. He didn't actually say that, but I mean, he's just everything that he says is just ridiculous. So you got all these cock, you know, whatever you want to call them, cockroaches, vultures in the media, who just attack Trump for everything. And even James Comey had to admit that. Even he admitted that a lot of the stories in the fake news are incorrect, are not true. So I mean these media organizations, like I said, that are demonizing Trump and acting like they are fair and balanced, and are not. I mean, they're clearly not, and they're putting out fake stories. And this whole Russian thing and whatever, painting Trump to be this. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some idiot out there tries to, you know, kill Trump, and that he was influenced or tries to kill people, you know, because he was influenced somewhat by, you know, people out there like Kathy Griffin or Snoop Dogg, you know, talking about killing Trump. I mean, we're really living in a world where, like I said, they are really demonizing Trump as, like, again, the worst person in the world, a racist, a sexist, a xenophobe. And my question is, like, if he's really these things, then how did he get elected president? I mean, I think the American people are smarter than that to realize that, hey, he's not actually racist, and that what the mainstream media is saying is bullshit. I mean, the mainstream media are, the true liars putting out all these fake stories, trying to make our president look like a treasonous president when he's actually not. So it's just ridiculous. You know, this whole thing is, you know, just another example of, I guess, you know, I guess you don't know his true motives, you know, what pushed him over the edge. But all we do know is this guy was a crazy motherfucker. We do know he did target them because they were Republicans. And really the thing I get out of this is it really goes against, again, the media's narrative, because they were just beating a dead horse there, saying that, you know, again, just demonizing Trump supporters, and just every time, like that one Trump supporter who punched somebody in a rally, they just played that clip over and over again. They said Trump incites violence, but then you look at the riots happening on the streets. I mean, you have anarchy on the streets with a bunch of communists, a bunch of losers, a bunch of fucking morons rioting in the streets, and the media just like ignores that and just, oh, you know, that's no big deal. We're not really going to talk about that. But then one Trump supporter does something bad, and that's like the end of the world, you know. But let's just let these hundreds of rioters, you know, that are burning shit. That's totally normal, you know. It's, you know, they're just that's normal. That's all right. You know, let's not even cover that, or let's hardly talk about that. That'll be on page 12 in the New York Times. But, you know, page 1 is, yeah, Trump used Russian salad dressing on his salad. I mean, it's just, they blow everything out of proportion. The media is so corrupt, and they are also, like I said, liars. They are so biased towards the left wing of this country, who have, by the way, run this country into the ground through policies of Obama through the last 8 years, and you could pretty much say Bush was a leftist too. I mean, he was about the, you know, a lot of people now are saying, you know, talking about Bush being like a good president now. No way he was a good fucking president. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. You know, compared to Obama, you could argue he wasn't as bad, but I mean, overall, Bush was a bad president, and Cheney too was, you know, corrupt as hell. So, but that, now we're going off into side issues here. Fact of the matter is, you know, I'm not going to say, again, I'm not going to fall into the trap of making this guy a representation of all leftists or all liberals or all progressives or whatever they want to call themselves. But the fact of the matter is, there's obviously a lot of people on the left who are, you know, are a decent amount, or some, obviously not a majority, but some who are violent people. And, you know, this goes against, you know, you see news stories in the media all the time. Oh, right-wing, conservative, Christians are the number one threat, or, you know, just shit like this, you know, demonizing Christians or demonizing right-wingers, you know, how they're just the worst people ever. But in reality, that's not the case. So, okay, I'm done ranting on the corrupt media there, but there you go, people.